subscribe for the very latest.
What's up, everybody? It's the collab on the new setup. Just testing out this new software we're doing for the podcast. So, hopefully on the camera it looks good. I don't know how it look on your end, but hopefully when we record it, look at it, it looks good. But welcome to the collab. How's everybody doing? We straight? We good?
Yep.
How's everything, man?
Marvelous.
Man, I miss y'all. Happy birthday to Jay again.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Jay.
Happy birthday.
He turned, what, 17? 17, 18?
Yes, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Okay. but nah, happy birthday, man. So shout out to Call Me King. He was on last time. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go out and get that book new. You can go pre-order it. I don't know what the echo is because it's really like I can hear. I don't know what's going on, but my voice is echoing. But anyway, but yeah, go out and get Call Me King's nude. It's out there. You can go to this Call Me King. What is it? Call Me King Words. I think it's called. That's his Instagram, right? Yeah. Call Me King Words. You can go pre-order that. But today's topic is going to be, it's our top 10 series. I'm gonna call it that. Last time we did top 10, which to me, once again, it's one of the best top 10 movie collections of all time. Me, Walt, and Trent. We put together the top 10 black movies of all time. I don't know. Jay and Tay, they decided not to come that day. They didn't like it.
That was right. Like, no, y'all. See, this is what happened. This is why we can't leave y'all unsupervised, because y'all do things as such, which is why we're here right now. We don't show up and y'all just run them up.
That top 10 was dry. That's why.
It was terrible. We had people in the comments that was like, "Who made this list?" That was y'all three. It had nothing to do with the two of us. That was
she needed a laying of hands.
Right, because it wasn't working.
That's what we doing.
It wasn't working. Did y'all see the list? Like,
that's what we doing.
That was okay.
What was not top 10? What was it?
There was some on there that y'all were actually missing. Y'all had a lot of things on there that was missing, and the selection that y'all had did y'all put Booty Call as a top 10?
No, we didn't.
What was one of them?
You just looked at the picture that we used to use for the avatar.
It was a mess.
Nah.
I'm just saying. So we gonna reclaim our time.
Yes,
we're gonna redo that because that wasn't it.
Listen, we're not gonna do the movies just yet. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do like the top 10 TV shows. Top 10. We got sitcoms on there. Top 10 actors,
TV dramas,
and actresses.
I'm a big top. I love top 10. I love to see where everybody's head is at in terms of like, what they think.
The eyeball out. I just feel it in my spirit, like it's about to go through. I feel it.
Hey, this is what we here for, man. We here to give our people their flowers and really shed light on our actors and our heroes, basically. So, but before we do that, I want to get into the My Life documentary, Mary J. Blige's My Life documentary. I really, really enjoyed it, but I know Jay got to watch it. Tay, did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of it. I did not get to watch all of it.
That's cool. So Jay, you tell me. So as far as My Life, first of all, let's talk about the album. What did the album mean to y'all, man? 'Cause definitely it's one of my top R&B, like top 5 R&B albums. What you think, Jay? What does My Life mean to you?
So I love Mary, period. Like, I really do. I can say that I genuinely love her. My Life, I like What's the 411. I'm not going to lie. But it's something about My Life. First of all, the samples on that album are wonderful. The tracks that she did use to sample. And her vocals were so raw. The documentary I truly enjoyed the documentary. I was even more happy when I saw that Andre Harrell that they did the documentary in time for him to be a part of it. Like, I really, really, really enjoyed it. I was so surprised when I saw him. But I feel like when she made My Life, sometimes when something is when you're very honest about it and when you can relate and when you're giving the lyrics, but when the lyrics are coming from your heart, I feel like that makes the work of art that you're putting together even better and people can relate to it. And I feel like that is why My Life will forever be a staple within the music industry, because she was so true in it. Like, this is what she was going through. This is what she could relate to. Like, she was not in a good place, but you can hear that in her vocals and you like relate to it and you can feel her pain. Like, I just love the album. Like, that album in itself is just like, it will always be a staple when it comes to R&B, hip hop. She did something new. Like, nobody had ever did what she did at that time. So I love it, me personally.
That's a fact, man. As far as the documentary goes, what did you think of the small piece that you did see?
So I did see a lot of her, just seeing how much she just surpassed. Like, seeing her now and seeing her acting and seeing her do all of these wonderful things. Just seeing how positive her music has always been. Like, her music has always been uplifting. Like, even My Life, despite her drug use, despite her being in an abusive relationship, despite her upbringing, like, Mary J. Blige has always just been somebody that I looked up to despite all of that. And then not to mention, I'm an old school person. So when she sampled Everybody Loves the Sunshine from My Life, it makes so much sense. Because just My Life, the song itself, if she's not downplaying that she, has been through things. Even in the documentary, just seeing, like Jay said, the pain and the triumph in the same voice at the same time is just inspiring. So I love Mary J. Blige. I love to see her in movies. I love to see her just growing. But the documentary, I definitely need to go back and watch the rest of it because I really admire her for her upbringing and just triumphing throughout. Right. I mean, she's a very strong individual, and a lot of that I did not know about her.
Right.
A lot I did not know about her. I'm very proud to have grown up in that era of Mary J. Blige.
That's a fact. That's very true. Now, you know what I thought? When I heard that the album was 25, I thought about Walt. Because Walt, so this album probably came out when he was like, what, 5?
It's 20. The album's 25. I'm 28.
Yeah, so what, 3?
That hurt.
So... Right. But what I'm curious about is that I'm like, man, he's 25. What are your feelings about the album?
Well, my sister is probably there's 6 of us, and I'm the 5th. The 4th is right above me. She loves Mary J. Blige. She loves her. Like, trying to dress her like her, with the little moles, same spot, earrings, the whole vibe, the whole swag, everything. She drew her like a million times. Like, she loved Mary J. Blige. And really, like, off that album, as far as like all the bops and the cool samples, the songs, like, I didn't even know that she did like a lot of these, like when I was young. But as I got older, I started to have my more appreciation for it. But as far as like impact to me, I always thought Mary J. Blige was just like mad cool. Like, she was always doing the pop, but the songs would hit. She had something for everything, for every kind of flavor. So, I always thought she was a kid.
Trent, what is My Life to you? Like, what is that? When you think of Mary J. Blige album, what comes to mind? Like, what do you think about?
That Puff Daddy could really sample. Nah, just one.
Nah, please don't forget. Don't forget about Chucky Booker. Because Chucky Booker did a lot of that album.
Him too. Nah, for real though. I'm with Jazz. 411 was a classic album also, but with My Life, when that came out, I think that solidified her as like in the same space and you can start hearing those same conversations where she was the queen of something. She was the queen of hip hop soul. When you got Aretha, she's the queen of soul, but you got Mary J. She's being talked about in these same arenas with with Aretha Franklin or all these other singers like a Patti LaBelle. She was being looked at in that same type of class, and she was representing from hip hop. So that speaks a lot for us, and just to show how much of an artist she truly is. So she made the whole world stop and respect what she was doing. So that was dope.
And the lady, like, I've never heard anything really like negative or derogatory about her besides that little pesky divorce,
That was crazy.
Moved Tyrese's hand from her leg. They was like at a party or something, and he was like rubbing on her leg.
Oh yeah. That was I saw that picture. Yeah.
She moved that hand. I was like, such a lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's grown. Like, there's a lot of women her age that are just like, you kind of feel like they are childish and kind of haven't experienced anything. But she's like one of those people that just gives me grown woman, like, walk in the room and just take over. She has good energy. Like, grown woman energy.
That's a fact. Can y'all hear me? I can still hear me?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all. Well, first, I know one thing that really resonated when she told in the beginning, when you hear her say, when she was growing up in the projects, and she heard all of these people, because anybody who's been in the projects in New York know that everybody lives on top of each other. So you can hear like the wife next door getting beat on. You can hear, all this crying and. Like she says she absorbed all this pain as a kid. Like she was hearing, like she'll be in the room by herself and she'll hear everybody's pain behind these walls. And that kind of helped me understand not only did she have to go through her pain, but she had to go through other people's pain. And she, if you really watch the documentary, she's still processing this stuff. And that is definitely a big part of this My Life album. I'm gonna tell it. Well, I say this: the documentary definitely helped me realize why I love music, and because I was a kid that was going through a lot. Like my mom was a teenage mom. She gave all she could. She I'm sure it was very tough for her. I thought I had it all. But as I became an adult, I realized my mother went through a lot to get what I needed, right? Same thing, my grandmother was a teenage mother, right? And I'm going to tell you how all of this ties into this My Life album. So, my mom, when we was coming up, like I went from like having my own room to like living in this one bedroom. Rats, roaches. I literally felt like I was in the prison. Like every time I went home, and we in the middle of the crack era. Like this is, 1985. Like you go outside is rough. I come inside. I gotta live in these poor conditions, eating powdered eggs, powdered milk. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that you probably shouldn't be consuming, but is what we had right at the time. And it's with music, it was my way of like I could just put on the headphones and just zone out. I can go to another place and not have to deal with all the stuff that was around me, you know. So when I'm listening to Mary J. Blige, how she talks about, you know, how she had to deal with, you know, how she listened to a lot of music, like her pops gave her a lot of these songs that she put on this My Life album were a lot of samples that she used from the songs that her father used, right? So it kind of, I was like, man, I was going through the same thing. My mom did the same thing. Anita Baker was like the soundtrack of my household. So I would say 7 years later, I remember What's the 411 came out. And I never forget, it was a Saturday. We went to the Bronx. This is where my grandmother was living at this time. So we went there. My mom had the My Life album. I mean, What's the 411 album. And she played, like, as she normally do, she was just singing, you know, like my mom was always singing around the house. But she was singing this What's the 411 album. And they got to the song, Sweet Thing. Her rendition of Shaka Khan's Sweet Thing, right? Now, my mother and my grandmother are like sisters, meaning that they argue like sisters. Like they're only 14 years apart, right? So they close in age. But this one particular moment where my mom was singing the Sweet Thing song, and my grandmother was singing the Sweet Thing song as well. Like they all was just going back and forth. They played that song back to back, back to back. So when I heard it, I'm like, man, like this song actually, you know, like this is a moment with them. You know what I mean? Like they're having a moment together, and they not arguing. You know what I'm saying? Like I was happy with that. So, so it made me. It was like, man, but this. Like this Mary J. Blige. I loved Mary J. Blige at the time, you know, because of the first single she had off the 411 album. But I'm like, what's the odds of my mother singing, you know, this one song? Like this song, for some reason, brought them together for a moment, right? So my mom really she started to love Mary J. Blige, and she bought the My Life album. And listening to the My Life album made me realize how many mothers, daughters, nieces Mary J. Blige has poured into and saved. Like she is responsible for so many lives being saved. People did not commit suicide because of Mary J. Blige. They accepted being gay because of Mary J. Blige. They accepted so many things about their lives. And when I thought about my life, I'm thinking like, man, like my mom was a teenage mother, just like Mary J. Blige's mom was a young mother. Mary J. Blige's mother was a young mother, you know, and it kind of, it was like, man, like these things, it's like Mary J. Blige set in 1990, what was it, 93 she made, or 94, I forget. 94. She put energy in this world that's just continuously going 25 years later. It was affecting, I mean, not just her, but, you know, Puff, Chucky Booker, I forget old boy name that was writing the songs. I forget his name. I think his name is Bub, if I'm not mistaken. They all, mind you, this is young Puff. This is
Uptown Records Puff.
This is Uptown Records Puff.
This ain't Bad Boy Puff yet.
This is the album.
He signed her on there.
Yeah, he signed her on here. Yeah.
The What's the 411 and My Life put Puff on the course to being close to a billionaire.
Yeah.
This is the album that catapulted him to being like, yo, Puff is that dude. You know,
yeah, everybody was kind of looking for him after that.
Right. And, well, he got fired after that, so you know he had to do something.
Nah, he was upstage. He was upstaging the head.
Yeah, you can't upstage the big man and think you still gonna stick around.
Right.
Like, nah, it don't work like that.
But I say all that to say that this My Life album does something to me, man, and it does something to a lot of people. And I don't know. I don't think this documentary did a wonderful job. I wish it would have dug a little deeper into like every song on the album, but it really was about the impact of Mary J. Blige with the My Life album and what it did for a lot of people. And you know, like I said, it affected my family. It affected, you know, like the young guy who was, I think they did like a listening session of people. And man, it kind of like say it touched me when the kid was, you know, the kid, he was saying he was gay, and you know, as you know, he was trying to be comfortable with himself, and he got picked on, and he wanted to commit suicide. And if it wasn't for this Mary J. Blige album, he would have did that. Like, you know, this album means a lot, man. I'm very happy to say, like Tay said, that I grew up in that era when that album first came out. Because keeping it all the way G, it's only a few people in this era is giving y'all that energy, and y'all not accepting them. Y'all not welcoming them. Y'all not doing. Y'all not embracing them like we embrace Mary J. Mary J. Blige was she wasn't polished like a Anita Baker.
And I remember her speaking about the teacher. I'm sorry, Trump. The teacher who told her she could not sing. You know, just imagine if you held on to that for the rest of your life, and that scarred you from singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would we have missed? Because she's legendary. You know, like you said, like she's impacted people in so many different ways. Like, you know, just her dance is signature. Like, can't nobody do it like she could do it. You know,
by bopping like Mary J. Blige.
That bop is something serious. That bop is just so like,
and it's her.
Like she can't. It's literally just her. Like every time you see it, you already know what someone is impersonating or what they're mimicking. Like because it's just her in every way, shape, or form. She is. Yeah. She's one of a kind. She's one of a kind.
Ain't gonna. She really embodied everybody she listened to. You know, because she is Anita Baker.
Yeah, she's all of those and wrapped up in one, but she put her own style to it. So to be like I said,
like, you can't even compare. Like you can't. It's apples and oranges because she's just like that one fruit that's just all on her own. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't.
She made her own lane. She made her own lane with it.
Yeah, like she's rugged and she's rough around the edges. And she like, you know, she cool, but don't test it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, she do like she'll knock somebody out. Yeah, she listen. Yeah.
When I saw her in Power.
Oh, Power! Oh my God,
she did a good job in Power.
Listen, Power. She was so true. Yeah.
Like, I said to myself, she just make it look too easy. Like you went from Mudbound, which is a movie about that you were a nurturing, sharecropping mother, to playing a mafia hit lady. Like,
but you know what's so crazy? Like I've always said, I feel like in Power, like I don't feel like she was acting in Power. Like I feel like that's who she is. Like I feel like that's who she is. Like what? Yo, what you saying? Like stop playing with me. Don't try me. Like and she got the scar on her face. Like she ain't flinch. She ain't blink. Like she not acting. This is exactly who she was before Andre Harrell had came to the project and was like, you can sing. I'm gonna take you with me. Like no, she was not acting. This is exactly who she is. So it was easy for her because she was just being true to who she is.
Yeah, like you might have switched it up a little bit.
Listen, when you wear, let me tell you, when you were R&B artist and you put on some a hockey jersey, a skirt, and some combat boots
with the joint to the back, like she was just like it's crazy how she was just like so hood and so like thorough, and then like the voice was so sultry, like. She was dead bopping that hard, like you know that you read. Like how you bop to be sweet, like but I'm feeling you like I was
like girl,
like it's crazy. Like but once again, nobody is delivering it like her, and I don't see anybody ever coming, because nobody has even to this day found that balance. Like the female rappers, either you like a gutter rapper or you a singer. There's nobody that mixes that, and that's what she did. Like she had that gutter thoroughness about her, but at the same time she had the sultry voice. Nobody else has done it like that. Nobody else. Not to my mind.
Yeah, she's one of a kind.
Man,
definitely.
Yeah, and I tell you, and man, we can. And listen. First of all, I can talk about Mary J all night, so I'm not going to do that. But I mean, the samples on this album. You know what was really interesting to me when she was. First of all, if you really listen to the song, it says, "My life, my life, my life in the sunshine." Right? Mm-hmm. Ain't no sunshine in this song
at all.
It's very meek. It's very
dark.
It's very heavy.
Very dark. But see, if it also gave it also made me understand the effect on the original song by Roy Ayers. Mm-hmm. Because this song came out in the 70s, and this is when we were struggling back then. Yeah. And like Mary J. Blige said, there was no sunshine in my life. But when I listen to this song, I can see the possibilities of what could be. Because this song is a very uplifting, positive song. And we know in the 70s, we dead in the middle of the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. And Black Panther movement and all this is going on. But they're saying about a life in sunshine and being happy. They were just trying to uplift people, so shout out to Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers version was kind of dark if you really listen, because they don't say anything. So he was like, everybody loves the sunshine, folks get down in the sunshine, but it kind of had a connotation just speaking about a lot of the world doesn't know how to live inside of the sun. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's one of my favorites.
Very balanced. It was pretty much telling you, listen, they were trying to uplift people that were in the darkness. We're trying to bring them to the sunshine. Even songs like what's the name of the song? Joy and Pain.
Oh yes, Frankie Beverly and Maze.
They talk about, really, that song is talking about balance.
Yeah.
In life. I want the joy and the pain, sunshine and the rain, so that's just just trying to balance out life. But shout out to Mary J. Blige, Puff,
shout out,
Chucky,
Recto Tower, Andre Harrell,
exactly. We appreciate that album and really glad that the energy is still going 30 years later. Or 25 years later, but we're going to move on